All right, I want to welcome on my next guest. We've got longtime Washington football team running back, three-time Pro Bowler, one-time first-team All-Pro, as well as Carolina Panthers running back, Mr. Stephen Davis. Stephen, how's everything going for you?
It's going great, man. Just enjoying this lovely weather we having down here in South Carolina for the last few days, and just vacationing, getting prepared for me and my wife 27th anniversary,
Oh, cool.
being married. So that's all I've been doing, man.
That's awesome. Is it consistent weather? Because I'm up in DC and it's cold. Like, I think pretty sure today it's 60, tomorrow it's 70, and then it's gonna be 45.
Well, it get kind of chilly at night. But,
Okay.
It's all right. We had a lot of pollen here
Really?
in the last few days. You can see it raining down like rain. So man, it's horrible. I don't even go outside when it's like that.
And then I just saw that they just approved the 17-game season. What were your thoughts on that?
Oh man, that's gonna be kind of rough, man. I guess the guys gonna have to rest a lot now. So 16 games is a lot, but 17 is gonna put a lot of toll on your body. So you just gotta be prepared for it, man. Get your body ready during the season, man.
Yeah. Do you think guys will maybe, like, if guys a little bit banged up, maybe like weeks 1 through 13, they'll rest him on a game they normally wouldn't, just to try to keep for that end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, when I was playing with Washington, man, one of the things Norv Turner did, he knew when I had a game where I had a lot of carries, like it was a 3-week run where I carried the ball like 30 times, 25 times, and he told me, say, just take off Wednesday and Thursday and practice on Friday, because the practice, and a lot of times guys don't realize practice put a lot of toll on you too. The way we practiced back then, it was hard. It was a hard practice, before the week before the games, and we put a lot of wear and tear on our body.
Because I know I was talking to John Abraham a couple weeks ago, and he said if he was in the league today, the way they practice, he thinks he'd have a much longer career, and he could probably just.
Oh, I would have played 20 years if it was the league today. I would have played 20 years. Like I was explaining to my son, and I was telling him, man, we practice. We might be off Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, those was probably the hardest days during the season. Then one year with Marty Schottenheimer, we would go goal line on a Friday, live goal line. So these guys got a cakewalk now, man. It's funny to me. I look at them and laugh.
I was gonna ask you that. That's so when they're just complaining, like, oh, they're overworking. It's like, you guys all right.
Yeah, you all right.
So I want to ask your thoughts on Washington's season. Got a great rookie running back last year. Why am I drawing a blank? What the hell? I'm drawing a blank from Memphis. Oh, Gibson. I don't know why. What are your thoughts on after his first year?
I think he did a great job, man, and I think they're gonna implicate him more into the offense this season. And with the way the league set up now, man, you got to have two running backs. So I'm looking forward to another guy stepping up and kind of relieve each other. Because when I played in my career, I played with Deshaun Foster and Steven Jackson. Those guys was great guys. Come in and complimented me well, and not complimented them well. And in this league now, you still need two running backs to do one guy that can just run it in between the tackles, and somebody that can be a guy that can get it out the back, catch the ball out the backfield, get in space, and make things happen. And if you look at some teams now, you got those guys on teams now to where, those are the successful teams when they have two running backs that are contributing in the best way possible.
And you played for Norv Turner, and then we got Scott Turner here. What do you think of the job he's done so far?
I think he's done a great job, man. He got a lot of knowledge about the game because his dad knows a lot about the game. I remember when Scott was coming to our practice, he was just a little young fellow then. But I'm proud of him. He's doing good things. He's doing some great things. And I think with the way Washington is going now, man, they're going to be pretty good next year, man.
Did you like the Fitzpatrick signing?
Oh, yeah. You got to love a veteran guy with his swagger come in and do the things that he does. He brings the fun to the game. He brings the attitude on far as winning and all means necessary. No matter how you do it, just get it done. And I think he's going to be a good, very good addition to the team.
I have a
Give
question.
an opportunity.
Does Chase Young remind you of any of the guys you matched up against?
He really put me in the mind of Javon Curse from Tennessee.
I've actually heard somebody else. So I've heard somebody else say that.
And Julius Peppers.
Interesting.
And Julius Peppers. And I played with Julius. And you know, those guys, man, back in the day, they was freaks, man. You know, Julius Peppers running 4.3s and stuff like that. And making some of the plays he made when he was playing. Curse as well. You know, I played against him, and you know, those guys were some game changers. And I think Chase is gonna be a game changer. The older he get, the more knowledge you get about the game and stuff. But I think if not one in the top three, I think the defense will be in the top three this season.
Yeah. Do you expect them to have a similar finish as last year? Or do you think they'll be able to? Now it's gonna be weird with 17 games. Try to yeah.
It's weird, but the thing that you got to understand is you can look good on paper. You can have all the accolades and everything on paper, but once you put on the field, it all got to come together. And you know, when I go speak to kids at high schools and college and stuff, I tell them buy into the system. And that's the thing that you got to do. You got to buy into the system. And with everything going on with the pandemic and stuff, you got to be able to buy into it, to what you're doing, and come together as a team. And that's what you see in championship teams. Tampa Bay, they showed it. They showed it with resilience of going through the pandemic and stuff like that. Alabama, you know, when they won their national championship this year, the first thing you heard is sticking together, being a team, and getting through the tough times. And you know, you don't know what's going to happen, what can happen, and you just gotta be able to. And I know Ron Rivera, Coach Rivera, he's gonna get them guys to where they need to be, and he's gonna get them on the same page, one accord. And I'm just excited to see them play this year, man. And you know, it's never. You can never predict something until you get it on the field. And once you get it on the field and get everybody playing and get everybody doing the things they're capable of doing, all of it will come together.
I have a question. Which of the other teams in the NFC East do you think is their biggest threat to win the division?
It's always going to be Dallas. And, you know, I think with some of the things that the Giants is doing this year, it's going to be tough. And Philadelphia, you know, one thing about Philadelphia, you got to love them, you got to hate them. One thing about them, they gonna always cause a problem in the NFC East, and they always gonna be in the midst of things. So you got to deal with them too. But I think if Washington do the things they're capable of doing, getting a quarterback that's consistent, running the ball, getting the ball down the field, and you know the receiver they got in free agency. Yeah. I think he's going to be a great compliment to the offense, and you know I like that pickup, and I just think everything, if they can get it going in the mini camps and in the training camps, they'll be all right during the season.
Well, is there a certain position you think they should address with the first round pick? I think they're picking 19.
Offensive line, man. I mean, that's where you win the games at. If you can't protect the quarterback and you can't block in the running game, you can't get no running game going. That starts it all. If the defense on your defense side of the ball, your front seven is looking good right now, and if you can add on to that, that'll be a plus. But like I say, I don't know what pick they're gonna go with. I would think on the back end of the defense in the secondary or something.
And then with the Panthers, so they up and down last year, McCaffrey missed almost all the season. They're picking in the top 10, and a lot of people have them taking a quarterback. Do you think that's the right move?
Yeah. Yeah, considering that, you know, I'm here in South Carolina, so I hear a lot of stuff that's going on here in South Carolina with the Carolina Panthers. I think they need to take a quarterback, at least get a quarterback that they can possibly groom for the next year or so. get a quarterback that they can throw in there right away. If you got to get in the top 3 quarterback, I don't think you're going to be able to do that. But whoever they get with they pick, I think they're going to be a wise pick to get a quarterback.
Yeah, that's interesting. And what do you think of the job Matt Rule did in his first year?
I think he did pretty good considering. He had some injuries with his key players and stuff like that. And, they're making changes on defense. I think he did a great job, man. And I think they're going to be successful this year, because, you got New Orleans down there. They trying to find a quarterback. And you have Tampa Bay, which, they got the GOAT down there, man. and they bringing everybody back from that Super Bowl team. But it's in Atlanta, you got a situation down there. It's not clear right now what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it, but it's competitive. And when I was playing those 2 divisions, NFC East and NFC South was 2 competitive divisions. And I think, with it all being said, it's gonna be a tough division. Those 2 gonna be tough divisions to win. And I feel that one of those divisions gonna have a Super Bowl, someone in the Super Bowl next year. One of those divisions.
All right. I'll keep an eye on that. And I want to ask you, are there any guys at Auburn this year we should be remembering their names for the draft?
Say it again.
Any Auburn guys whose names we should remember for the draft?
Receiver Steph Williams. I can't think of the guy's name. He's fast. He's one of the fast guys. I think he just ran like a 4.26 or something like that. He's another receiver. In Auburn, it was a rough year last year. Even though they had a winning season, and being that Alabama won the national championship, so that's another dagger in the heart. But with the new coaching system, new coach coming in, and the new system coming in, I think Auburn will be fine. I think with Patrick Nix, with Bo Nix, Patrick Nix's son, which I played with Patrick Nix, Bo Nix's son, Bo Nix, I think they're gonna get him right to where he's not running out of the pocket all the time and stuff like that. So I think they're gonna be all right. They got a great running back down there, and Bisley. And I think, if they can run the ball successfully and play good defense, I think they'll be all right.
So I want to ask you about your career a little bit. So what was your senior year of high school like? I see that you're the #1 recruit in the nation.
Yeah, I was. That's what they say. I was #1 recruit in the nation, and now that I look back on it, man, at the time I really didn't know the importance of it. I was just going out there doing something that I love to do, and working hard, and doing the things that I was capable of doing. But coming out of high school, I had a lot of guys that contributed it. We had a good team, man. We had a quarterback named Brian Smith go to Georgia.
Cool.
Where that tight end that went to Auburn with me, which is my best friend, DeMond Logan. We had a young receiver named Lee Smith, and a couple of role players on offense. Tucker Edwards, those guys, man, they contributed. They actually made me better to where I came out and I put up the numbers that I did. And we played some tough teams. Region 2, 4A, back in those days, man, was probably the hardest region you can play in. I played against some great talented guys, man, and some great teams. And like I said, it's very humbling because at the time I really didn't think of it as being the #1 player in the nation. But now that I look back on it, it was a great accomplishment and a great honor to be the #1 player in the country.
I have a question. How many different schools pitched you to sign with them?
Oh man, it was a lot. It was a lot. My top 5 when I was in high school coming out was Clemson, Florida State, Notre Dame, Auburn, and Alabama. And I didn't take but one visit I took 2 visits. I took a visit to Auburn. I took a visit to Clemson. I was going to award ceremonies all during the recruiting process, so I didn't get to take all the visits. But when I went to Auburn, it was a great feeling, man. The running back tradition they had down there, Pat Dye, and the homey atmosphere that they had down there it really sold me and my mom. And the decision was bar none, man. I went to Auburn and did the things I did there, which was, I had to sit out my first year, and I got to play the last 3 years, and I had a pretty good career down there.
Yeah. I have a question. Did you ever get to meet Charles Barkley?
Yeah, I met Charles Barkley a couple of times, met Bo a couple of times, and when those guys come around and they get to talking, you got to listen, because coming through Auburn, those are legends. And, when legends come through, you got to talk. You got to listen to them, listen to the things that they say.
I'm pretty sure I heard Barkley one time say, like, I went to Auburn for 3 years, but technically, if I look at my stats or my transcript now, I'm still a freshman.
Barkley, he's something else, man.
Yeah. What's it like when you guys match up against Alabama as being on the field?
It's crazy. I've seen and I've heard what family members, they divorce each other. When we play Alabama and Auburn, we come like the second biggest city in Alabama. And being able to play in a game like that, it was amazing, man. And the crowd, the atmosphere, the things that we did to come together as a team and play in those games. And when we played each other, we didn't like each other, but on the field, we got along very well. And that's what football is all about.
I have a question. Were you at the Kick Six game?
Yes, I actually was at the Kick Six game. Wow. And right before the Kick Six, I walked out the stadium. And all of a sudden, I heard the crowd yelling and everything. And I get back to my RV, and I'm looking at it, and everybody's running on the field. It's crazy you ask that, because my son was being recruited by Auburn at the time, and he was inside with his friends, and it was a great atmosphere then, man. But I think the best Auburn game, Alabama game that I was involved in was the 93 game. The 93 game when nobody expected us to win, and we 10-0. Alabama is Alabama. They just won a national championship the year before, and we was gonna get beat by them. But we went out there, we did the things that we supposed to do, and came together as a team and won that game and went 11-0. Wow. So
that's awesome. I have a question. So they didn't let you back in the stadium?
No, I didn't even bother to walk back.
I feel like that's wild to me. I feel like anybody else, if you play for the team, they normally say, "Oh, once you leave, you can't come back." If you play for the team, I'm walking back 15 times.
Walking, yeah. I probably could have walked back in, but I didn't even bother to walk back in. I was halfway at the RV, and I finished looking at it there. But my son and his friends, they got to enjoy it. I think they was on the field when everybody was running out there.
So you did hear it live. You didn't just hear the reaction and go, "What just happened?"
Yeah, I heard it live. I heard it live. Yes.
I was in the car we were going to a Wizards game, and I don't think it was on the radio. And I'm just staring at the ESPN app, and all of a sudden I see 0-0-0, and then all it goes, Auburn win. I'm like, what the hell did I miss? What I missed? I'm looking on Twitter. I'm like, this is insane. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was real crazy.
Yeah,
that's how those games are, man. They're exciting. And they don't have no pro football team in Alabama. All they have is Auburn in Alabama, and it's crazy. Yeah. Like I say, some people don't even speak to each other for years over Alabama and Auburn game.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable. You feel like it's got to be the thing. You got to be there. Like it's just not the same on TV.
You got to be there. I mean, just being in that atmosphere, being in that scene, it's amazing, man. It's really amazing.
Did any rivalries you had when you were in the NFL even compare to Auburn, Alabama?
Cowboys in Washington, Tampa, Carolina. They was rivalries. But Tampa and Carolina and Atlanta. I mean, Giants and Redskins, those were rivalries. But it's nothing like a college rivalry, man. Nothing like it.
And I have a question. So what was your draft process like? Because I saw you kind of got banged up a little bit right before the draft.
Yeah, I actually got hurt at the Senior Bowl, and I had to have surgery. And did my workouts, had great workouts, man. I think my workouts, I ran a 4.36, and I lived pretty good. I think I did 220, 225, like 20 times, and I did good. And one of the things was the running back coach at Washington at the time, Bobby Jackson. I worked out on a Tuesday, then on a Thursday. He didn't come to the Tuesday workout. He came to the Thursday workout, and he said, "You ran the 4.36 on grass, on turf. I want to see what you run on grass." And I ran a 4.34 on grass. So he was like, "It's legit. It's legit." So, and I think that's one of the things that got Washington looking at me to take me in the draft. And when I got hurt, I don't know everything about it, because I've heard guys say he's hurt, he runs upright and all this stuff, but it was a proud moment when you had a head scout for the Washington football team, tell in an interview, say they asked him, what was a gem that you found in the draft, and he said Stephen Davis. It's kind of special, and I really appreciate him for that. But the draft process was stressful, long, and if you don't have patience, it's something that you don't want to go through. And you don't know what the teams are thinking, what they're thinking about you. But once you get the opportunity, you got to go out and make the best of it, no matter what team you're on, what order you're on the depth chart, or anything. Your goal is to make the team. And I got the opportunity, man. Norv Turner gave me the opportunity. And I to this day, I'm thankful for it. Every time I see Norv Turner, I tell him thank you, because he was the only one I felt that gave me the opportunity to play in the NFL and do something that I love to do, something I've been doing since I was 8 years old.
I have a question. What was the injury?
I tore my meniscus.
You ran a 4.3 with a torn meniscus?
Yeah, cause but
that would have been my first comment.
I did the Senior Bowl is like in January or somewhere, but I didn't work out till like April, like mid-April or something like that.
That's the only reason where were they saying you were projected to go before the injury?
They say I was pretty to go first round. And
over a meniscus? That's unbelievable.
Yeah, but like I say, man, when people see that you are talented and you have the ability to do some stuff, they're gonna give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
And like I said, I got an opportunity. I made the best of it, man. And, I always been able to run fast, because in high school I won state in 100 meters 3 years in a row. Had the state record for high school, state South Carolina. So running fast is easy. Everybody that think I can run that fast because I was so big.
Yeah. I have a question. Was Charlie Cashley the GM when they took you?
Yes. Charlie Cashley was the GM. He was. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, was he the one that called you up when you got drafted?
No, actually, man, I'm gonna tell you the story. I was drafted in the 4th round. When the 3rd round ended on that Saturday, I got a call from Tampa that night. Said they were gonna take me in the 4th round with their first pick in the 4th round. I said, okay, all right. But Washington came in and took me before Tampa can take me. And I took 2 visits. I took a visit to Washington and I took a visit to Tampa. And I had a feeling one of those 2 teams was going to take me. So
that's awesome. When Charlie Castle, when you first met Charlie Castle, you say, "Nice to meet you, young man." How was it?
Yeah, he said all that. But Cashley, he's a good GM, man. He was a good GM. But it was because when I first came to Washington, and when I actually took my visit, I'm like, man, I think it was coming off the worst snowstorm in Washington history. And I was like, man, I can't live here. I ain't never been in no snow like this. But I got drafted by him, and when I got there, had another snowstorm. And I ain't never drove in snow like that. I'm talking about snow up to the middle of your car window. I'm like, man, I got to deal with this. But it was my time in Washington was some of the best moments in my life, man.
I have a question.
I met a lot of great people, and not only that, I learned from a lot of great people. Brian Mitchell, Mark Logan, Terry Allen. You know, I had the opportunity to learn from those guys. And in my locker, for my whole career in Washington was beside Darryl Green. So I had the opportunity to talk to him every day about life, about religion, about kids, all that, man. And great dude. Darryl Green, great dude, great guy, man. Brian Mitchell, great guy. Terry Allen, great guy.
Did you beat Darryl Green in a race?
Yeah, I can beat him in a race. I challenged him, but he would never race me. He would never race me. I even left a note in his locker saying, "Hey, let me know whenever you want to race." But he would never race me. I don't know why.
Unbelievable. I have a question. When you first got to the team, were they at RFK or at FedEx?
Well, actually, my rookie year was the last year at RFK. And when I tell you that stadium is nothing but history, man, it was history. Because when you walk into the stadium, like we walked in before the game, you smell gas. I'm like, where's this gas smell at? But the first time I actually got to play in RFK was great, man. It was a great feeling. And not only that, to score the last rushing touchdown as a Redskin at RFK.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so.
Do you think they need to move? They got to move back. And do you think it's just what's the atmosphere like playing at RFK into FedEx because you played at both?
When you have seats in the stands and you can jump on them and make noise, and you can see them shaking when everybody's jumping at the same time, that feeling, that atmosphere, man, is uncomparable. But when we went to FedEx Field, we had to break it in. We had to get used to it. We had to, cause you can hear some of the guys say, "Man, it's nothing like it, okay." But over time, it got there. People, the fans got into it, and being able to go out there and have some successful games, they'll let you know. Every Redskin game I played in was crowded. It was jam packed, so I had a great time playing at FedEx Field.
Yeah, no, because I wish games were like. I mean, last year obviously is a variable, but the year before, like it's all opposing fans.
Yeah,
So it's. I have a question. Do you have any ideas? If they said we want you to pick the name? Do you have anything on top of your head? You want the new name?
I don't know, man. The Washington Head Busters.
I haven't heard that one before. Put that one down. I haven't heard that. No, because I know, like, I wouldn't mind the Senators. Remember because that's what the Nats used to be. Senators went right.
Senators.
Mine was Beltway, but they didn't choose the Beltway.
No, they're not choosing the Beltway. The Senators, that can bring those back.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, and I tell everybody, they're gonna always be Washington Redskins to me.
Yeah.
But they are the Washington football team now, so I gotta respect that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, because the thing is, like, I know they posted the other day that apparently they've had like 50,000 people submit ideas for the new name, and I can tell you right now, 30,000 of those names was Redskins. I can tell you right now. They're like, oh yeah, because we're gonna go back. They're not going back. Yeah, it's just wild. Because I remember when you first got drafted, so you kind of like you probably used to being the number one guy your whole career, and then obviously you're not. What was that kind of like for you?
It was a learning process, man. Like I say, I was playing behind Brian Mitchell and Terry Allen, and getting the opportunity to play behind those guys for a couple of years and seeing their work ethic, seeing that how they carry themselves on and off the field, and what they brought to the table, man, was a lot of energy, a lot of respect, and a lot of maturity to the running back position, and just learn from them.
I have a question. Was Fred Smoot on the team when you were there, or was that after?
Yeah, Fred was there. He came there in 01. I played 2 years with Fred. I played 01 and 02 with Fred.
Do you have any stories that aren't gonna get anybody in trouble about Fred?
They go into my grave. Go into my grave. We had some fun, man. Fred was one of those guys. I never forget. I hate to bring this up, but he was with Minnesota at the time. And
okay.
Before the game, I told him, I said, have a good game tomorrow, man. Just don't make Steve Smith mad. Because, Fred like to talk. And Steve Smith, one of those guys that's not going to back down. And I told Fred, I said, just don't make him mad. You make him mad, he's going to go off on you. And Fred made him mad. And I think he had like 200 and some yards receiving against Fred. But Fred, great cornerback, man. Great guy, man. And funny. Real funny. Real funny.
He said something on the radio a couple years ago. I had to pull over. Remember when they took Bryce Love in the I think it was like third or fourth round out of I think Scott Jackson said so he studied to be a doctor. He's going to wants to be a pediatrician. And he says right after he has the torn ACL, and Smoot goes, oh, he's a doctor. He can just fix himself.
Yeah, that's Fred Smoot. That's Fred Smoot. That's Fred Smoot.
So I have a question. What was it like? Because I know you had to wait a little while until you were the number one guy. Were you just kind of saying like, I'm ready, or did you just have to wait it out?
I mean, in NFL, man, you never know when your number going to be called. So every time my number was called, I stepped up to the plate. And like in 98, they drafted Skip Hitch, and he was going to be the next guy in line. But they moved me to fullback because our fullback got hurt, and they put me in fullback. I made the best of that. And I never forget, in 99, Norv Turner told me, he said, I'm going to give you a fair chance. I'm going to give you a chance to win the starting position. And we was actually up in training camp. We was practicing against Pittsburgh Steelers, and we went goal line. And after the fourth time I scored on goal line, he came over to me, say, you're going to start this week against Tampa in the first preseason game. I said, all right. So first play of the game, I hit off a 50-yarder. And I walked to the sideline. He say, you the starting running back. For him to, like I say, from drafting me and withstanding me growing into the player I became in 99 for 3 years and giving me the opportunity to win the starting job, I'm very grateful for that, man. Like I say, every time I see him, I thank him, and he gave me an opportunity to do something that I love to do.
I have a question. What was that scout's name that asked you to run the 40 again? That kind of found you.
Oh, there was a running back coach.
Oh, it was the running back.
His name was Bobby Jack.
All right, give some shout out to Bobby Jackson because that's an unbelievable find. So 99 season, what was that like for you? Like you're tearing it up. What was the season like?
Oh man, it was fun. First game of the season we playing Dallas Cowboys. Should have won the game. They come back and beat us. I scored 3 touchdowns. Following week we go to the Giants, beat up on them pretty good. Scored 3 touchdowns. Go back up there the following week to play the Jets. Jets was good at that time. Jets was real good and scored another 3 touchdowns. So in my first 3 games, I got 9 touchdowns. And I'm averaging on a little over 100 yards a game. So I'm like, hey, why not? Let's keep this going. And, the offensive line we had at that time, man, with Trey Johnson, John Jansen, um, um, Raymer, all those guys up front, man, they blocked their tails off, man. They did a great job, man. And, that was one of the funnest years.
Yeah, that sounds like. Who's the toughest guy for you to run through?
Who's the toughest guy?
Yeah,
to run through?
to try to just the guy you kind of had to like you kind of had to prep a little extra for him, like the toughest guy. Like, all right, this guy's gonna make me have to work a little harder today.
I would say Ray Lewis. The hardest I ever been hit was Steve Atwater. He was with the Jets at the time. He hit me so hard and knocked snot out my nose in 90-degree weather, But like I say, Ray Lewis, man, and those Giant defense, that they was pretty tough, man, back in the day. I enjoyed playing against Ryan Dawkins. That guy, he brought it every time. He made it real competitive. That's about it.
Interesting. And then did you mold your game after any backs, or you just kind of do your own thing?
Yeah, I kind of did my own thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, I kind of did my own thing. I was always just trying to do my job, do things I was capable of doing, not trying to imitate something somebody else doing or anything like that. Just get it done, go to work, get myself better every day.
I have a question. Are there any backs in the league today that kind of remind you of the way you played?
The big boy down in Tennessee.
Derrick Henry?
Yeah. Nick Chubb. Todd Gurley when he was in with the Rams.
Yeah.
Those type of guys, man. Who I really enjoy watching run is Nick Chubb. Cleveland. He don't talk much. He comes to work. He give you the business and go home.
I have a question. What was that Pro Bowl like that year?
Oh, it was great. I'm very glad that my family got to enjoy it. I had the first year there was my son. He was like 1.5, and being able to enjoy that. My girls, they enjoyed it. My mom enjoyed it. Just giving them the opportunity to go to Hawaii and enjoy themselves and to see them enjoying themselves, that made me proud.
Do you think it's the same? Do you think they should bring it back to Hawaii, or do you think Orlando is just like it's not as appealing?
Yeah, they need to take it back to Hawaii. I mean, Hawaii is beautiful, and getting the opportunity to play in Hawaii, because they don't get to see a lot of NFL players over there anyway. Did the Pro Bowl there. There was something special for that area, for that state and everything. So,
yeah. Was there kind of like a defining moment with you playing for Washington?
Defining moment.
I mean, like kind of something that kind of sticks out when you think about your career in Washington, like anything more than anything else, or no?
I think the defining moment it's two defining moments. Was when, and I hate to bring this up, man, is when Michael Westbrook sucker punched me. When he sucker punched me and making the playoffs in '99. Those two defining moments for me. And the reason why I say the Michael Westbrook situation is because that happened with my second year in the NFL. And at the time, I was a knucklehead. And I could have did a lot of things that got me in trouble by reacting to that. But I had guys in the locker room like the Dale Greens and the Brian Mitchells and Terry Allen and things sit me down and say, man, if you take the high road in this, you'll come out on the end. better. And I did. And then with making the playoffs, man, hadn't been to the playoffs since 91. So being able to make it to the playoffs for the first time in those many years was a great accomplishment for us.
That's awesome. I have a question. Why do you sign with Carolina?
Close to home. A lot of people didn't get to see me play in college or in the NFL. And training camp in my hometown. And just the opportunity to be back here and finish it up, man. And I played with two of the best organizations in the NFL, I think, which was Washington Redskins and the Carolina Panthers.
I have a question. What was that Super Bowl season like?
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. A lot of people didn't give us a chance, but if you have a good running game and good defense and a quarterback that's not going to make a lot of mistakes, you'll get an opportunity. You'll get a chance, and we did. We got on the road. Like I said, we started off 5-0, and we got on the road. And once we got on that road, we knew what got us there, and we knew what was going to keep us there. We kept rolling, man. We kept working every day, coming to work, getting our job done, gelling as a team. And the difference between that team and the teams that I played in Washington was it was the way we came to work. There was no individual guys. You had guys that went out and made plays and got a lot of recognition, but you had guys come in there every day with the same mentality, same attitude. And John Foster was a great coach, man.
That's awesome. Was there any fun stories from that Super Bowl year that maybe Carolina Panthers fans would like to know? Anything that's PG-13?
The funniest thing, man, is I don't know if you remember He Hate Me, Rod Smart,
No, not familiar.
and Jared Cooper. They was like our ace special team guys, but also Rod played running back and Cooper played safety. And what they used to do, most teams make you dress up when you're traveling. So what they did, they dressed up in like 70 clothes. If you go back and watch that season, man, you can see them in 70 outfits. Where he'll come to the stadium with platform shoes on, afro, a butterfly collar with all kind of different colors in, and that was funny, man. They had us, going. They kind of kept the funny to it and stuff like that. So it was really enjoyable seeing that type of stuff, man.
Awesome. I have a question. Excuse me. Do you think Jake Delhomme is underrated amongst NFL quarterbacks all the time?
Yes, I think he is. And you can barely understand what he said in the huddle when he's telling us the plays, but you'll get used to it. But Jake, man, he was one of those guys, man, that, like I say, didn't nobody give him a chance. They gave him a chance to be on the team, but didn't nobody give him a chance to go out and do the things that he did in Carolina. And I mean, he had a great career, man. Once he got in Carolina, and he did some great things.
I have a question. Why did you choose to sign a one-day with the Panthers over Washington and retire as a Panther?
Well, it was more of a being still living here in South Carolina, but I'm always be a Redskin, man. A Washington football team guy, man. I'm out. That's where my heart at. You know what I mean? My heart is in both of them, but being here at home, being here in South Carolina, retired Carolina Panther, that would make sense to me. But I'm always be a Washington football player, man.
And then my last question for you is: I saw you got into the South Carolina State Hall of Fame. What was that like for you?
Actually, I'm in the South Carolina State Athletic Hall of Fame, and I'm in the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame.
Oh, cool!
I just got into that 2 years ago.
Oh, cool.
It was great, man. When they actually called me and told me that I was going to be in South Carolina Athletic Hall of Fame, I really wasn't expecting that call. Didn't even know I was up to be nominated. and to have them call me and tell me that it's an honor, great honor. Being from South Carolina, being considered one of the top athletes that ever come out of South Carolina is a great accomplishment. Great, because we got a lot of great athletes come out of South Carolina.
Yeah. Well, that's really all. One last question: do you have a bold prediction? Washington's record next season?
11-5.
Well, they got the 17th game on there, so they could 12
and 5.
I'll take it.
12 and 5.
I'll take it. I've never seen 12 and 5. Yeah, but I do appreciate you. Really appreciate you taking the time to chat for a few minutes today.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Welcome me back anytime.